You ever feel like if you stop carrying everything, that everything might fall apart? You're not just holding your own responsibilities, you're carrying your team, your family, your clients, your business. And really, if we're being honest, maybe it's even people's emotions, expectations, and energy you're carrying as well. Does that sound familiar? I made this episode for the leaders who feel like they can't drop the ball, even though they're one more thing away from burnout, teetering. It's time to talk about the cost of carrying it all and how to stop silently drowning under the weight of everyone else's needs. Welcome to Wellness Matters, the podcast for high performers who look successful on the outside but feel stuck, burned out, or disconnected behind the scenes. I'm your host, Chris Bowe, transformation coach, speaker, and founder of Resilient Wellness. After years of battling addiction, burnout, and broken identity, I rebuilt my life from the inside out. And now I help ambitious professionals realign with their energy, mindset, and their purpose so they can lead with clarity and live with power. If you're ready to stop performing and start becoming, then you're in the right place. Now let's dive in. Here is today's episode. Let's start here. Over responsibility isn't just about being dependable. It's about believing, consciously or not, that you have to hold it all for things to be okay. It's a hard spot to be in, but oftentimes we find ourselves in that position as leaders, as those that people look up to. And this mindset, it sneaks in when certain things have happened before, such as you've been burned by others dropping the ball. Or this is a popular one here, you tie your value to being needed or to be in control. And another thing too, we find that sneaks in is you don't trust that others will show up. And so what happens is you end up overcompensating for them. You're making that decision on their behalf. And the result is you become the go-to person, but also the one that no one checks in on. You're leading, you're fixing, you're helping, but inside, really, you're tense and you're exhausted and you feel like you can't let go. And just so you know, this isn't noble. As much as we've been conditioned to think that we have to take on the world, if you've ever heard that saying, take on the world is yours. It's not noble. It's unsustainable. And I want to go over some signs that might show that you're silently carrying too much. Because I know sometimes when we're going through this over time, it really just becomes, I don't want to say normal because normal isn't the right context for it, but it becomes repetitive. And so it just becomes a way of life that we deal with. And so I really want you to step back and pay attention to these signs that are going to tell you whether or not you're silently carrying too much. And the first one is you can't sleep even when you're tired. So you lay down to go to bed, but then your mind just races. It keeps going on the to-do list or what the problems are that others are carrying around you that you need to fix. And you can't seem to shut it off. And then another sign is you say yes faster than you should because you want to be that go-to person. You commit out of guilt, not alignment. You don't want people to look at you differently, thinking that you can't handle the problems. And so you overcommit and you say yes too much. Another sign too is you feel resentment toward people who depend on you. So what you've been doing is you're taking on all this extra responsibility, but something inside has switched to where you're holding everybody else accountable for it, projecting on them that it's their fault that you're where you're at. Like you love them, but you're exhausted and you blame. Another sign is you believe rest is actually selfish or lazy. You've made up in your mind to make this a fact, to make this a belief within yourself that because you need to grind, if you slow down, you're being selfish because you're not there for everybody else, or you're being lazy. You're not living up to your full potential. And then what happens is deep down, you only feel worthy when you're doing something. And that's a hard spot to be in. It's not a good spot. It's not good mentally or physically. And another one, and this one's huge, but it's another part of the conditioning that we've put ourselves into as you know professionals, as CEOs, as executives, as entrepreneurs, business owners. We stop asking for help, and this one is probably one of the most dangerous ones because isolation kills. But yeah, you've stopped asking for help. You feel like you have to have it all figured out all the time because you've put yourself in that position. And all of these signs is the classic burnout. It's classic burnout in disguise. Here's the truth: the more capable you are, the more people assume you're always okay. Did you know that? And because you can carry it all, they'll let you. People will let you do that. But just because you can doesn't mean that you should. See, high achievers fall into this trap. And I say high achievers because we're all, at some point in our career, whether we're executives, CEOs, working professionals, business owners, we're high achievers. We've worked hard to attain the position that we're at. But anyways, high achievers, we all fall into this trap because we've been rewarded for solving everything, right? We've earned that badge, that prestige. We've built identities around being strong, being reliable, and being unshakable. But let me tell you this: your peace and your health and your joy, they matter too. They matter more than that other stuff. And that other stuff can become a byproduct when you take care of yourself first. See, if you're always in problem solving mode, you forget how to just be present. You forget how to just be you. You forget how to be supported. And eventually you forget how to breathe. Like you take on so much that you don't have room for anything. And I'm guilty. I've been there. I've done that. I've taken on so many things to where it just, what happens is the stress overtakes and then anxiety, like the body, that's when the body starts to shut down. You begin to experience things like ulcers. We talked about this in previous episodes on the physical part of it. Ulcers, fatigue, brain fog, anxiety. And it's not just mental, it's physiological. We have to understand that. And we have to know that those are further signs that we're not in a good spot, that something needs to be done. So let's flip the script. Okay. I want to go over 4 strategies that will help you reclaim your peace. But the key thing is without dropping your leadership. Because I know we get stuck in this mode that if I do things differently, then I'm not performing the way I'm supposed to be performing. And that's a lie. We can't allow that lie to become a belief that we hold on to within our identity. So here's 4 strategies. One, do a weight audit. And I'm not talking about the scale. I'm not talking about if you ate too many cookies for the day and you need to find out how much you're weighing. What I'm talking about is write down everything you're carrying, all the responsibilities that you have going on, and then ask, what is mine to carry? Like, be honest about this. What is it that's for you to carry? What are you holding for others out of fear, guilt, or habit? The next strategy is retrain others by retraining yourself. And what I mean by that is people they're used to you handling it. So what you can do is you can shift that culture by communicating your limits and sticking to them, letting people know around you, this is where I'm at, this is what I need to do, and this is what I need you to do. Put some of it back on them. That way you're not trying to carry it all. And truthfully, when you do this, it makes them feel important. It makes them realize, oh, I'm an asset here. And so that gives them a sense of, I guess what I just said, responsibility. And that helps you. And when you do that, they're going to step up even more. And then the delegation becomes easier, which offloads more for you. And then another strategy, the third strategy is practice support over solo. Now you're probably like, what do you mean support over solo? What I mean is you're not weak for needing help. You need to build the systems, ask for the support, and delegate often. It kind of goes right off of what we just talked about in the previous one about retraining others by retraining yourself by giving more responsibility away. But you have to practice it, not just make. So the second strategy was to make the decision to do this. The third strategy is to put it into practice. Okay. Allow people, ask people to help, ask people to step up, ask people what their strengths are, and see if you can plug that into where you need it to be plugged into to take the load off of you. And then the fourth strategy, start and end the day with release. Such as in the morning, ask, what's truly mine to carry today? Going back to, the first one, writing down what you're going to carry, what's important. Okay. And then at night, ask, what can I lay down that wasn't mine to begin with? Because you'll find that as we go through this process, you will still pick things up just because you've conditioned yourself over a long period of time to be that person, to take on all those extra responsibilities. I'm guilty too. But now being conscious of it, we can ask this question and just be honest. Like, what can I lay down that wasn't mine to begin with? And release that. These strategies, they're not just habits that we're forming, they're lifelines. These are going to save you so much, not only just for your business and your career, but for you as an individual. You're going to find that when you can do these things and implement these things, you're going to run at a much higher level. And hey, newsflash, you were not built to carry the weight of the world. You're allowed to set it down. You're allowed to be human. And you're allowed to rebuild in a way that supports you. It's not selfish. It's success and how to get there the proper way. So this week's challenge, I want you to choose one thing you are carrying that's not yours. And I want you to set it down. Give it back to whoever it belongs to, or get rid of it. Put it in your mind to know that it's not yours. Don't apologize for it. Don't over-explain it. Just set it down. Release it. And that's your homework. Start with one thing and build from there. And as you build, you'll find that it's much easier to do that. If all of this hits home for you, I want to invite you into a deeper work. So go visit chrisbocoaching.com. That's Chris Boe, B-O-E, coaching.com. And there you can get on my calendar. We'll set up a call. We'll see about how we can work together. You can work with me directly. And then also, too, in the meantime, if you want more value and you want more insights, definitely head on over to YouTube and subscribe to my channel. It's at Resilient with Chris. And there you'll get more actionable content. You don't have to carry it all, but you do have to choose something different. Thanks for tuning in to Resilient Wellness, Unlocking Your Mindset with Chris Bow. I'm grateful for you guys to be here. Make sure you come back, subscribe, be on that list to be notified, because next episode, we're going to dive into something that's pretty important, and that's your circle, the people that you're around, and how they are helping or how they are hurting you. Super good stuff. Be healthy, be well, and we'll see you on the next one.